I come from a small city where nothing is handed. Took my talents and made them work for me, look where I landed. I know a lot of those out there really don't want me having it. They just mad that I'm creeping on them and they had advantages. See, when my voice is on, I let my voice be the change. Put it in these communities, let it give them some range. Let them know that they got a shot at anything they want, and it ain't all about the teaching, but really how they responded. And here on KBLA Talk 1580, we gon' get into it. The whole world on Smiley out of your media. The others tell it, but they truths have some limits. We got that food for soul, know what they feeding you. Black lives matter all the time. Yeah, let's talk about it. About the school to prison pipeline. Yeah, let's talk about it. Police brutality out of line. Yeah, let's talk about it. All these thoughts running through my mind. We gotta talk about it. I am unapologetically progressive in efforts to fight for the people. Gotta exercise our voting rights and then push the needle. I'm walking tall, cause I know that y'all expect me to lead. To push the message I am willing to bleed. I gotta get what I need. That's social reform, that's prison reform. I'm highly informed, don't put down a pen. I got a list, I can't resist. I preach until I talk with a list. And who you know gon' give it to you like this? And here on KBLA Talk 1580, we gon' get into it. The whole world on Smiley out of your media. The others tell it, but they truths have some limits. We got that food for soul, know what they feeding you. Black lives matter all the time. Yeah, let's talk about it. About the school to prison pipeline. Yeah, let's talk about it. Police brutality out of line. Yeah, let's talk about it. All these thoughts running through my mind. We gotta talk about it.
Black lives matter all the time. Rather fitting tonight for show. Yeah, man, let's talk about it. We got a lot to talk about right here. KBLA Talk 1580. Welcome to the Danny Morrison Show, the whole 9 of the nighttime, right at 9. And tonight is a special night. If you're an avid listener to the Danny Mo Show, you probably noticed that I've started blending in content submitted by listeners into my 7 series. Yeah, my one topic, 7 answers segment of the broadcast that I bring you nightly, with the exception of last night. Because, the phone lines are kind of hot, and, allow me to take this moment to formally apologize to my listener, Jalissa J. I'm sorry, Queen, okay? She submitted last night's 7 series. We never got to it. We'll do it in the future, I promise, Queen, okay? But back on topic. Has partially been commandeered by my beautiful listeners, and I'm humbled by your willingness to add your voices and your talents to the broadcast. But tonight was born from a submission of a different kind. And because of that fact, I felt that we should do a little something different because of it. The theme of tonight's entire broadcast comes from a loyal listener that has become a part of the ecosystem of this show via the KBLA hotlines, via email, and of course, via the KBLA YouTube feed that runs concurrently alongside every show at this very radio station. And the listener sent me a jam-packed package in the mail a couple weeks ago, which contained tons of content for us to chew on. His name is Ray Alexander from Dallas, Texas. He calls himself, quote, a concerned brother. And from his standpoint, in a number of words, he believes that the black community's continual efforts to assimilate into a white society will continue to languish unless we embrace one historic and highly controversial approach to our collective futures, especially as it relates to black people in the state of California. Some serious drastic measures involving what is referred to as reverse migration. And he's not the only one who subscribes to such beliefs. Let me explain. His letter reads, and I quote, "Hello, Danny Mo. Thanks for agreeing to discuss these topics on your show. Do blacks have a political or economic future in California? And is it time for black Angelenos to leave Los Angeles and return to the South? And why the election of Karen Bass as mayor of Los Angeles will not improve long-term prospects for black Angelenos?" He continues, "During the Great Migration, black newspapers encouraged Southern blacks to move to northern and western states for better social and economic opportunities. Now, New York Times columnist Charles Blow is encouraging blacks in northern and western states to reverse migrate back to the South, where blacks have larger populations by percentage and the potential to take over and dominate statewide political power. Maryland, considered a southern state by the Census Bureau, just inaugurated its first black governor, Wes Moore. And the state's attorney general and the state's treasurer are also black. The state of Maryland is nearly 30% black." Charles Blow writes, and I quote, "The mission begins with the states, which are the true centers of power in this country, and as such control the lion's share of the issues that bedevil black lives, criminal justice, judicial processes, education, healthcare, economic opportunity, and assistance," end quote. Please review my compilation article, 6 Reasons It's Time for Black Californians to Move Back to the South. In addition, I have included a copy of Charles Blow's book for you, The Devil You Know, a Black Power Manifesto, because it supplements my positions, Ray Alexander, and here it go. Y'all can see it on YouTube, right? Here it go. I'm about to quarter into it right now. Well done, King. I appreciate it. I know you're listening right now. I love the package, appreciate the book, and really love these topics. And we will be hearing from Mr. Ray Alexander at the bottom of the second hour of the broadcast, by the way. But I'll play. In the interest of time on this 3-hour Danny Mo show, I'd like for us all to pinpoint focus on one of the topics that Mr. Alexander has brought to the discussion. That topic is it time for Black Angelenos to leave Los Angeles and return to the South? I repeat, is it time for Black Angelenos to leave Los Angeles and return to the South? And it's a fair question. As a brand new Black Angeleno myself, I have to say that I love this city, man. Los Angeles is everything that I've hoped for. Opportunities abound. Since I arrived here 2 years ago, I've been flummoxed by the wide assortment of welcoming Black-owned businesses, listeners, community partners, social activists, movers, and shakers that I've been able to befriend in such a short span of time, some of which I believe will inevitably become lifelong friends of mine. But let's not act surprised by the fact that the writing has long been on the wall for change, considering the fact that we black people have been steadily scribbling big, bold black ink on the big whiteboard of white supremacy for years now. Which may be indicative of the fact that many of us might finally be willing to uproot from our mundane and maleficent Southern California lives to seek out surroundings that allow us to focus more on red, black, and green pastures than this red, white, and blue disaster. And there was one prominent black person who may have inadvertently helped in accelerating the black sit ball rolling, because America obviously hasn't provided her some tangible answers. Remember Jill Scott, huh? Singer, songwriter, model, poet, actress, and the only singer ever who showed mechanical skills on a microphone at a concert. If y'all ain't seen that video, go to YouTube right now, and you know what I'm talking about. But I digress. But Jill Scott was on the Jamel Hill is Unbothered podcast last year, and Jamel proceeded to ask her a question that generated a little controversy back then. But upon further review, was it really all that controversial? Listen.
It feels weird to say this because I don't think there was a time in history where it wasn't. But in this climate, especially this racial climate, what is it like for you, raising a young black boy?
Terrifying. Because it doesn't matter if you have or you don't. All that matters is that you're brown. That's it. So, he's turning 12 shortly, April 20th. And in 4 years after that, I know he's going to want a car, and he saved up so that he can get a car, and is still saving and will get a job before he gets a car. Okay. I don't care where you work. You're going to work somewhere. But just to know that he'll be on the road, just to know that he'll be away from people who love him in a world that will decide whether he's guilty of something because he's brown. That's terrifying. And it makes me consider leaving this place often. We talk about it a lot as a family, like, where would we go? And we're currently in Nashville, and if it doesn't work out here, then it's time to leave.
Leave the States or Nashville?
Yeah, leave this country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's certain things that you don't have to deal with. There's other things that you have to deal with, but there's certain things that you don't have to deal with in other countries, and it's specific other countries, so we're looking at Holland. We like Holland,
huh?
They chilling.
Yeah.
They have great health care. They ride their bikes everywhere, so people are pretty fit. They speak more than Dutch, like several different languages. Most people do 3 or 4 different languages. That's dope. The it's below sea level, so the food is really well hydrated.
I bet they eat.
You have really looked into this.
Well, yeah, I'm not kidding.
Interesting, but not exactly shocking, is it? But let's also not act as though we haven't all personally seen anecdotal evidence of black people leaving California and taking part in the great black migration of today. I've made the joke multiple times on this show that whenever a black person tells me that they're moving out of California, I always proceed to ask them the same question. So where you going? Let me guess, the city of Atlanta or somewhere in the state of Texas. And you know what's up. And I'm usually right about 80% of the time with my assessment. But the following data not only backs up my assessment, it also shows that there's an even greater move happening. Check this out. According to the Brookings Institute, quote, black migrants are more likely than white migrants to select destinations in the South. Among all black interstate migrants from 2015 to 2020, southern states were the 6th most popular destinations: Georgia, Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland, and 7 of the top 10 states overall were in the South. And as far as black people migrating from the state of California, 7 of the top 10 black destinations were located in the South. And as far as black youngsters are concerned, Atlanta was the top destination for black young adults ages 16 to 26 from all other commuting zones, and 7 of the top 10 destinations were in the South. So needless to say, this migration is real. Our cries to live in peace are too, because we feel that our long-suppressed intrinsic desires to be amongst our own people will somehow calm our fears, solely because our demands for justice and inclusion from white America has perpetually fallen on deaf ears. In conclusion, Charles Blow is not only the source of tonight's subject matter by way of Mr. Ray Alexander, but he's also a man that is practicing what he is preaching. He made the move to Atlanta after living in New York for years, and he seems hell-bent on not only sharing his message of transition with the most curious of us black people, but right in the faces of white people. Hear him now on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert talk about his move to the South and how black prosperity isn't an anomaly. Listen.
I grew up in one of those majority black cities, right? And so coming back to a place like Atlanta, I understand it. It feels very much like home, and it feels where black prosperity is not an anomaly. Where it doesn't feel like the police are hunting you, where it feels like the government is going to be responsive to you. That's an amazing feeling. When I talk to people about moving back, they give me a whole litany of reasons why they might not want to do it. And I say, I understand those, and I have another list of why you should do it. But what I'm telling them is, I'm not suggesting that you're going to move back into a utopia. If black majorities produce utopias, every white person in America would be prospering right now, because for the last 90 years, every state except Hawaii has been a majority white state, but they are not. Right now, 7 states have a 90+% white population. Surely all those white people are prospering. No, they are not, right? No matter what, if you get a black majority, you're still gonna have poverty and food insecurity and income inequality. But in the aggregate, the people who don't have to live under white supremacy are going to do better than those who do. I just want to have the privilege of having regular white people problems.
Fire right there. Regular white people problems. Perhaps we simply want to get upset because we ran out of green bean casserole too. You know what I'm saying? We want white people problems too, you know? Maybe we sometimes want to get upset because the download for Taylor Swift's new album stopped in the middle of the night too, you know? Maybe we want to do that too. Maybe we want to share the emotion of white America's Hulu when they didn't make the new episodes of Yellowstone season 2. You know
and where the white women at?
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you know? Instead of being treated like a pariah while black in an American city, where we are constantly judged by our identities, our culture, and our hue. So isn't the great black migration long overdue? That's up to you. But that's just me. So tell me what you think, LA. Do you believe in the great black reverse migration? I gave you the statistics. Yeah, 6 million black Americans left the South between 1915 and 1970 in search of better lives, and now black people from all over the country are relocating to cities and states where there is a larger population of us who reside there. Back to the South. Many believe moves like that will give us more buying power, political power, and ultimately more peace. But do you believe that to be true? And is moving out of the state of California a viable option for your family and you? Holla at your boy, your voice has changed, your voice of the community. Your voice is on 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. You can also stream us via the brand new KBLA streaming app on your app store, iOS or Android, it don't matter. That same app allows you to send me your questions and comments that I will answer live at different intervals throughout the broadcast. Plus, like, share, and follow your favorite radio station live on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KBLA 1580. Feel free to follow me at Danny Mo Show on those same platforms too. Plus, the Danny Mo Show, as usual, will take your comments via the ecosystem of our social network. Check this out. When we come forward, I will add another 7 series to add to the topic of conversation. Once again, this one ain't mine. The aforementioned listener who provided me tonight's source material sent this to me via U.S. mail. Ray Alexander, and his personal 7 series not only hits the nail on the head, it's very well written. And once again, I love that you're all sending me your own 7 series lists. Send me yours, DannyMoShow@gmail.com. Tonight's 7 series is actually a 6th series from Mr. Ray Alexander. 6 reasons it's time for black Californians to move back to the South. He gives this list in descending order from 6 to 1. I will give you Ray's perspective, bullet point by bullet point, and add in my own perspectives as well. Stay tuned. Add to the conversation with your phone calls when we come forward. Welcome to the Danny Morrison Show on Unapologetically Progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Let's ride. Come on.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
The Los Angeles Urban League and Parkside Economic Development Corporation are working to close the wealth gap between black and white households. B-Warp, the Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program's free virtual workshops will help your family acquire, gain, maintain, and pass down legacy wealth. Learn from the experts about making more with what you have. The Black History of Money, joining the Smart Investors Club, preserving your assets in tough times, crypto, cash in or cash out, the wealthy mind and body. Register for this free series that could change your financial future at laul.org/BWAARP. Don't miss B-Warp, the Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program, every 2nd and 4th Thursday in February, March, and April at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Register now at laul.org/BWAARP.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Okay. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars, working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage, career-track jobs. The Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing around anti-discrimination, learn about union apprenticeship programs, or sign on to a trade registry, please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Real talk Real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, man. Hey, quick story real fast, okay? So I'm leaving the gym earlier today, right? And I had to park way around the corner. It's pouring rain outside. I ain't seen this much rain ever. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. But I had to park way around the corner because there was too many cars on the block. You know, where I live, there's a lot of cars. So I park around the corner, and I'm walking up the sidewalk. I got my gym bag, I got my headphones and everything. And there's an older African-American cat coming out the house. I think he was a handyman of some sort because he's got the jumpsuit on and everything. And he may have been early 60s. I'm estimating. I don't know. But he looked like he may have been in his early 60s. So he's crossing out of the front yard, and I'm going up the sidewalk. So we're about to intersect, right? As he passes in front of me, he goes, "How you doing, young man?" And I said, "Man, I'm doing well, King." And I keep walking. And he goes, "Hey." He stops me. He goes, "Hey, I've never heard that before." And I go, "Yeah." I said, "It's a term of endearment." I said, we brothers are always so mean to each other, and the words that we use for each other, there's so much hatred among brothers. I've been doing that for years, and I've been saying that. And he goes, I'm going to start doing that myself, King. And I was like, all right, I appreciate you, King. I ain't in my Nia. No, I'm playing. I didn't call him that. I'm joking. I should have called him the N-word and ran off, huh? But it was really cool, man. His reaction, you should have seen his eyes light up when I called him that, though. It's like, dude, we should always be, hugging on each other. When we see brothers be mean-mugging you for no reason. You be at the intersection and you look to the right, some cat just glaring at you, waiting for you to give him a mean mug or something. Just why? So he can get out the car and beat you up or something.
So how did it make you feel knowing that he received the term king? He received it well, as opposed to other people sometimes. They don't like to be called king or queen.
I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing right now. Connie Collins was on the show on Monday, and she said, "Don't call me queen. I think it's cliche." You're trying to throw rocks at her right now. She's going to be in here on Monday. I'm going to tell her what you said. You don't want to mess with her. Come, let's get to the broadcast, because I got a meaty, very meaty 7 series from Mr. Ray Alexander. As a matter of fact, let's just jump right into the 7 series. Let's go. Come on.
One topic, 7 answers. It's time for the 7 series on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, man. Tonight's 7 series is actually a 6 series from Mr. Ray Alexander. 6 reasons it's time for Black Californians to move back to the South. He gives us his list in descending order from 6 to 1. I will give you Ray's perspective bullet point by bullet point and add in my own perspective as well. 6 reasons it's time for Black Californians to move back to the South. You want to join the discussion? You know how we put it down for the town. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. Ray, you don't call yet. I see you in the YouTube feed. We going to talk around 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. Stay up, okay? Because I know you in Dallas, Texas, man. Here's number 6. California's gold has turned to pewter. Over half a century ago, waves of Black Americans migrated from the Jim Crow South to escape blatant racial discrimination as well as political and economic disenfranchisement and resettled to California for a better life. California was the golden state at the time and offered ambitious Black Americans opportunities to work in auto, in aerospace factories, in unions as longshoremen at the ports of Los Angeles and Oakland, and as an emerging group of professionals in education and healthcare, as well as small business owners serving the needs of their communities. The Black Great Migration participants that relocated to Western states from the 1940s through the 1970s. Were outliers who recognized the time and place of favorable circumstances, and they moved on to greener pastures. That's according to the Census Bureau's supplemental poverty measure, which factors in the cost of housing, food, utilities, clothing, so on and so forth. I'm dancing around here, it's a lot, which includes non-cash governmental assistance as a form of income. California, with 12% of the American population, is home today to about 1 in 3. Is that right? 1 in 3 of the nation's welfare recipients. Wow. Here's my take on this whole thing. Look, California ain't perfect. I got a bunch of family members that, my father's from North Carolina, so I got a number of family members in North Carolina, and they always email me or send me DMs on Facebook and stuff like, "Man, y'all balling out there in the West Coast. Y'all got it going on." And I go, "Yeah, I think y'all got it going on perhaps a little bit more. I know this is LA, West Coast, Cali, I get all that. But man, I think their stresses are, much lighter than they are here in Cali. That's just me, though. Yeah, there's a rent control problem here. which has been exacerbating the homeless problem, air quality problem, crime problem, education problem. There's strikes going on with LAUSD right now. And simply raising the minimum wage doesn't help the problem. Because I looked this up last night, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median necessary living wage across the entire U.S. is, check this out, $67,690. That should be the living wage, the median living wage nationwide, which is about $33 an hour. And you know California's going to be on the high side. Who knows what it is in Cali? So I'm not surprised that poverty is rampant throughout the entire state of California. Here's number 5 from Ray Alexander. California's black population is small and declining. That is very true. The black population of California at only 5.9% is overwhelmed in a state with 39.5 million people, where Hispanics make up nearly 39% and where Asians make up nearly 15%. Additionally, while the black population of California steadily decreases, the younger Hispanic and Asian populations are increasing, and so is their political clout. Latinos are the largest ethnic group in California, and they are flexing their political and economic muscle. It should not be a surprise to any keen political observer that Mexican-American California's Secretary of State, Alex Padilla, was appointed by Governor Gavin Newsom to replace biracial, Black and East Indian Vice President Kamala Harris in the United States Senate. And Hispanic political power will certainly become more entrenched with the state in the coming years. In addition, Asian American political power is strong in prosperous enclaves like Irvine, where residents have a median income of $100,000. Median income of $100,000 in Irvine. And Asians make up 41% of the city's population. And here's my take. I can't read it all, Ray, but here's my take. I'm not sure that means that we're supposed to relocate and migrate to the South just based on what's happening with Latinos and Asians. I don't know about that. As we discussed on the broadcast on Monday night, like, we older folk, we got to get young black people more involved in the political process. And I think we have failed at doing that. There are some wonderful organizations around this city that I've already met that are doing some wonderful work, but we have to collectively come together and do it in unison. And we're not doing a good job of that. We're no longer the country's largest minority, but we still are the gatekeepers of the modern day civil rights movement. Our voices usually lead the most important social justice causes. But we just need to get young black Californians to care as much about politics as they do about likes and clicks, if that's possible. 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we continue Ray Alexander's 6th series. And on the other side, I have got another side to this entire argument, which many might agree with. We will see. Danny Mo Show, KBLA, stay there.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The White House is not responding to allegations that members of President Biden's family received payments indirectly from a Chinese company. Speaking to reporters, Press Secretary African-American Karine Jean-Pierre said House Republicans have been lying for years on this issue. Black Mayor of New Orleans, Louisiana, LaToya Cantrell, is making her first public comments since the governor's office said the recall petition against her failed. Cantrell said the recall attempt was meant to discredit her as mayor. She added it feels like a weight has been lifted and she'll continue to do the best job she can for everyone in New Orleans. Actress Sheryl Lee Ralph is fangirling over Beyonce. The Long Island native told a New York radio station she met Beyonce at the post-Oscars Vanity Fair party in Hollywood. She said Beyonce has a glow and told the superstar, "You're just getting better with time." And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network at BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the Accident Guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? The Accident Guys can come to you almost anywhere, so you don't have to come to us. Se habla español.
It's getting hot in here.
KBLA Talk 1580 is apparently the talk of the town. From the LA Times to our talk radio competitors.
Hey, there was a story in the LA Times about Tavis Smiley. Now he is back with his own radio station, KBLA, black-owned and oriented towards the black audience. So, Mo, considering your knowledge of Tavis and his audience, what's your take on this?
Well, I think in a general industry sense, I think it's always good when there are more outlets, there are more talk radio, there's more voices and representation. At that point, I think talk radio had been too homogenous for too long.
Real quickly, is it going to succeed, yes or no?
I think it's going to succeed.
You think?
There's a new sheriff in town.
We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
Thanks to our new sponsor, Lendistry. Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered in Los Angeles. Lendistry helps small business owners access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit Lendistry, LENDISTRY.com/KBLA today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Periods don't care what you're doing, but your pad should. Get Always Triple Protection System in Always Day and Night Pads. Always Day Pads protect when active by wicking away gushes 2 times faster than leading store brands and giving us up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort. When we size up our pad at night, we get the same triple protection, plus up to 75% more coverage in the back for when we're laying down. No matter what, Always has you covered, day and night.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You can start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now's the time. Go to mycomputercareer.edu.
I'm young, gifted, and black.
KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
Hey there, I'm Jared Hill, president of the National Association of Black Journalists of Los Angeles, and I just want to say thank you for the benevolent $10,000 donation and scholarships for the next generation of black journalists.
And I'm Haywood Galbraith, photojournalist and founder of the Minority Photojournalism Institute. Thanks, KBLA, for your generous $10,000 scholarship gift to help us train the next generation of black photojournalists.
Congratulations to all the students who will benefit from the scholarship dollars raised at our Black History Month luncheon, honoring black legends in LA media. When we come forward at KBLA Talk 1580, we're bringing everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
just honored at the White House? Did I see that?
So he's leaving the life he's come to know. Ooh. He said he's going back to find. Going back to find. Ooh, what's left of his world. The world he left behind not so long ago. He's leaving on that midnight train to Georgia.
Leaving on a midnight train. This is the every man dance back then.
Said he's going back.
That's the Pips dance.
Going back to a simpler place and time. Woo! Oh, yes, he is.
You were checking out the Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. Usually I try to guess the year. Can I try? Gladys Knight and the Pips. Midnight Train to Georgia. 1968. How's that? Oh, wow. Am I that far off? How? What year? I'm not. It ain't that far. Oh, it's up? It's in the 70s? That ain't no 70s track, is it? What year? 3? That's far off. Before we jump back into the 7 series for Mr. Ray Alexander, which is the 6th series tonight, let's take a phone call real fast. Sherelle, get up in here. Sherelle, give me your height, your collar, and your hood, Sherelle.
All right, 5'6", Carmel, Gardena.
Gardena checking in. Drop that. Come on. Yeah. So would you be would you be on a midnight train from Gardena, and would you take that midnight train right to Georgia? Are you willing to uproot your family and go on down to the South?
That's a hard no.
Hard no. Why do you say that? Elaborate on that.
Okay, so let me give you a little background. The reason why I say no is because I did it. I moved from California and moved to Virginia. And in Virginia, I moved for a lot of different reasons, but one of those reasons was to get that experience. You know, let me see how it feels. And my dad was down there. Let me see how it feels to live amongst us and to have that home raised vibe, you know. So I did all of that and married a man country man from down there and all of that stuff. Learned a lot of things, but there is nothing like Los Angeles. I'm telling you, the freedoms that we have here, the opportunities that we have here are not the same as they are down there.
I find it interesting you use the word freedoms. What do you mean by that?
Let me see.
Because last time that I checked, we're all in one of the states in America. Last time I checked.
We're all free, yes, but there's a vibe down there that, you know, our heads are up. We walk around proud here. When I first went to Virginia, I noticed people had their heads down and walked and I'm not saying everybody, but there were. I'm like, lift the head up, say hello, what's up, you know. I don't see that, you know. So
Andy said,
I had something good.
Andy said, like in the have you seen the movie Get Out?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, in that movie, a lot of that movie's set in the South too, right? I mean, there's a lot of just dejected, downtrodden neighborhoods in that movie. I can understand why Andy's saying that. But go ahead, you were making a point. I'm sorry.
So my point is, yes, it's an experience, but I didn't enjoy it because I grew up out here in California. So it was nice to visit. For 15 years that I was out there, but I was so happy to get back here. I didn't know what to do.
You know, it's really unfortunate when people try to compare Los Angeles to other cities in the country. I mean, there's very few that could compare. This is one of the greatest cities in the world, not just this country, in the world. And I always laugh when I go back to my hometown, you know, to see my kids all the time, right? And they always say, like, you know what I'm saying? You big baller in L.A. now and everything. Except, you know, you don't want to come back to this little stanky town. And I go, if you're crazy, if you're trying to compare Bakersfield to L.A.,
yeah,
you can't compare a city of 350,000 people to a city. How many people in the city? 12 million people? I mean, you can't. It's the entertainment capital of the world. It's got some of the best weather in the entire world. There are more famous people in the city than anywhere else in the world. It's got some of those beautiful beaches. And, I mean, it's, like you said, and tons of opportunities, too. L.A. is a bomb. Make no mistake.
Right.
So,
right.
I'm just saying. By the way, give her a call of the night.
Too.
We got to get back to this episode. You better not leave, because where am I going to get my chicken? Where am I going to get my chicken? I need my chicken. We can't have you leaving.
That's right. That's right.
Taking away
All
my...
right, thanks for the call.
All right, have a good one.
Love y'all. Bye.
Love you, too. Taking away my midnight plate to Georgia. Come on, don't you leave me out here by myself, Andy. Come on, let's go. Come on. All right. By the way, there's a poll in our YouTube feed right now. It says, would you ever consider reverse migrating to the South? And 71% yes right now. Get in there and vote right now. Would you ever consider reverse migrating to the South? 71% yes. Just got a DM from Beauty Kalon, who's listening to the show right now. You do braids, Beauty Kalon? Holla at your boy. It's from Rizza Islam. She sent me a post from him. I guess he posted this yesterday. And Rizza said, we might want to get prepared. The useless back and forth won't stop the inevitable collapse of this system and world. Let's get our homes in order and our families secure to the best of our ability. We all have things to clean up within ourselves. Ignore the nonsense and prepare. Man, that kind of talk scares me, man. It sounds like something's coming down the pike when you hear talk like that, right? But let's get back to the 7 series. My man Ray Alexander, 6 reasons it's time for black Californians to move back to the South. Number 6 was California's gold has turned to pewter. Number 5 was California's black population is small and declining. Here's number 4. The black and brown coalition is more mirage than reality, but there is real competition for economic and political power. And it includes a quote from another source. Quote, as Latino and African Americans increasingly live side by side in large urban centers as well as in suburban clusters, the idealized concept of a rainbow coalition would suggest that these two disenfranchised groups are natural political allies. Indeed, as the number of Latinos has increased dramatically over the last 10 years, competition over power and resources between these two groups has led to surprisingly antagonistic and uncooperative interactions. Many African Americans now view Latinos, because of their growth in numbers, as a threat to their social, economic, and political gains. That is from Nicholas Vaca. The presumed alliance, the unspoken conflict between Latinos and blacks when it means for America. And he's got another one in here, too. Around the country, evidence of a growing divide between blacks and Hispanics is mounting. It's a split few want to discuss. That one after another, the reports have rolled in from Florida to California, Nevada to New Jersey, even as far away as the state of Washington. The news is getting harder to ignore. There's trouble brewing between the blacks and the browns. Tensions between blacks and Latinos are certainly not new. They have surfaced in major ways in Miami, where a relatively wealthy class of Cuban exiles has won far more political power than the city's blacks, and Houston, where blacks and Latinos have often been on opposite sides of political races. Quote, there will be a libertarian in the White House before there is a black-brown coalition in Houston. Orlando Sanchez said that, who lost a close 2001 mayoral race to a black candidate. Riley told the Houston Chronicle newspaper, some writers have been trying to point this out for years. Here's my take on that. I did an entire broadcast on this topic. I don't know if you remember that, Andy, months ago. I made the case that we African Americans are too small a segment of the population to go at it alone. And I hear it all the time. Without reparations, if we got reparations, different conversation. Without reparations, we just ain't got the political power nor the resources, financial power to get it done. We don't, not yet. And I believe the only way to get to the promised land is to join forces with other minorities and put some points on the board before trying to form our own political party that I hear a lot of black people trying to say. What political race we gonna win with our own political party when we 12% of the population? But I'm also not blind to the fact that many black people take issue with some Latinos out there. Let's keep it real. Identifying as Caucasian. I see that a lot, especially on Black Twitter. or aligning themselves with the Republican Party, especially in Florida. Did you guys know, I pulled this up, okay? In Miami-Dade, Trump won 53.5% of the total vote in the majority Hispanic precincts, which account for almost 3/4 of Miami-Dade's entire electorate. Back in 2016, that number was only 40%. It's a problem, but I stand by my original statement. Black and brown got to work together. That's just me. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we continue the 6th series from one of my listeners, Mr. Ray Alexander, and you will hear from him at the bottom of the next hour. Danny Mo Show, KBLA, stay there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Women are taking up space in the political sphere, but black women still have yet to really make their mark. This is Maisha Cairo with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by Lendistry. Story courtesy of CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. On International Women's Day, the Public Policy Institute of California held the Women in California's Legislature Luncheon. Assemblymember Tina McKinner from Inglewood headed to Sacramento to sit on the panel. The woman-led panel discussed California's future and their essential roles in shaping governmental policies. This year's class of legislators held the largest number of women in state history, with 18 senators and 32 assembly members. And although black women are 8% of the 15% population of women in the country, they only fill 300 of the 7,000 state legislature seats across the U.S. McKenna made sure to emphasize the importance of this event and of women in color in politics, stating women bring diversity to the table due to the ways we take care of our families. I'm Maisha Cairo, and that's your K-Black Minute on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hello, this is Dr. Rosa Milligan, self-appointed mayor of South Central Los Angeles, calling authors and business owners. Get ready for Black Writers on Tour, plus Business and Tech Expo, Saturday, March 25th, 2023, 10 to 3 p.m. It's a face-to-face event at the Carson Community Center.
Authors, aspiring writers, learn how to write, publish, and sell your book. Business owners, let people know where you're at, and much more. 323-750-3592. It's a free event. You heard right, free. And there's something for everybody. Go to blackwritersontour.com and register today. 323-750-3592.
Literacy is everybody's business. Black Writers on Tour, Saturday, March 25th, 2023, 10 to 3 p.m. I'm looking to see you face to face. 323-750-3592 or visit blackwritersontour.com. Don't miss it.
California is a great place to live and work, but those aren't easy things to do for students also going to college. That's why the state created the Californians for All College Corps, a way for students to build skills and help others while earning up to $10,000 for school. Commit to serve your community and we'll help you pay for college. Spots will fill up fast, so learn more and apply today at www.cacollegecorps.com. That's www.cacollegecorps.com. California is a great place to live and work, but those aren't easy things to do for students also going to college. That's why the state created the Californians for All College Corps, a way for students to build skills and help others while earning up to $10,000 for school. Commit to serve your community and we'll help you pay for college. Spots will fill up fast, so learn more and apply today at www.cacollegecorps.com. That's www.cacollegecorps.com.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Andy Zell just said the perfect song was Midnight Train to Georgia. She's giving you love in the DMs right now. Definitely. Okay, you just gonna go ahead. How you gonna pat you had to dislocate your shoulder to pat yourself on the back right there. What is that? You just gonna give yourself some love? Stop it. You're supposed to allow me to shower you. Shower me with your love.
Hey, man, I'm doing something right. So, I just got to pat myself on the back.
What about them Lakers, though?
Shout out to the Lakers. Shout out to Austin Reeves, Hillbilly Kobe.
Is that a new Kobe? I know that's blasphemy. It looked like a white boy Kobe, I tell you.
I'm not going to go that far. But
I know it's a little far.
Hillbilly Kobe is apropos for
Is LeBron going to come back? They going to make a run?
You know, we done went up to 10th place now, so, you know, we're in the playing situation. So as long as we can keep that up, that'll be lovely.
So with a one game under 500, I believe, right now? Right?
Yeah, they're 36 and 37 right now.
We sitting there talking about Kobe and Bryant, and we one game under 500 right now. Calm down.
Real talk, I don't think they want to mess with the Lakers in the playoffs. So
who in the West, other than Denver, who in the West can take them?
Quite frankly, who could take the Lakers?
Yeah. With a healthy LeBron, who gonna take them?
Honestly, I think any team in the West can get got.
I don't think they can get Denver.
I think they can. Denver hasn't sold me yet.
Okay.
We'll see.
Let's get back to the 7 series, by the way. Let me see. Number 3, California's exorbitant housing costs prevent home ownership. We're inside the 7 series, which is the 6th series from Mr. Ray Alexander. Why Black Angelenos need to move to the South. And he writes, and I quote, California has the second lowest home ownership rate in the nation. Less than 1/3 of Californians can afford to buy the median price home compared to more than half of households nationwide. That median price home reached north of $700,000 by mid-September of 2020, more than double the national home price. He linked an LA Times article that was entitled, Inglewood Rents Skyrocket After the New NFL Stadium Deal. And it says, for example, in LA County, more than half, 52% of blacks pay 30% or more of their income for rent. Higher than whites at 47%, Asians at 45%, and Latinos at 43%. I did not know that. Did you know that? That's crazy. More than half, 52% of black people pay 30% or more of their income for rent. Wow. In addition, although housing prices are high throughout LA County, blacks pay a somewhat higher percentage of their income for housing and have more difficulty obtaining affordable loans than other ethnic groups. We know that. 38 to 39% of black and Latino households own their homes, somewhat lower than Asians at 45% and whites at 57%. My take, no take. Totally agree. Can't disagree with that. All of it. When I see black people moving to Atlanta, and they be taking their little pictures in front of their house, in front of a 2-story house. Look at my new house. Look at my... And then you get in the DMs. What that cost? Oh, I got it for you got it for $500,000. You got a two-story house on a big old lot?
I remember going to North Carolina for Thanksgiving. Now, this is back in 2015, so I'm sure things have changed. But I went to go visit my auntie, and, she lives in a 2-story house, backyard.
Crazy.
I mean,
big front yard and backyard,
big
probably.
Front yard, big backyard. I mean, you need a car to move around. Ain't no walking to the store. You would need a car to move around.
That's crazy.
But I'll never forget, her husband was basically telling me, like, that apartment that y'all staying in California, it's the same amount over here. You would literally have a 2-story house.
Yeah.
Backyard, front yard.
And the
garage,
house is yours.
And the house is yours.
So you're probably paying $1,800 to $2,000 a month rent in Cali, and then you go over to the East Coast or the South, more specifically, and you can get a house and own that house.
But can I say this, though?
Please.
As much as I love that space and the area that they were in, I'm a city boy.
We're going to get into that in the next episode. There's some pushback.
It was different.
There's some pushback, too. We're going to get into that, for sure. Because I would love a big old house like that. But would I love it in the South? I don't know. I'm going to stay right here in L.A. A lot of y'all can move. I'm going to stay right here in L.A. And $500,000, I'll buy a house. It's probably going to be a tiny house. You ever seen those tiny houses where you sit on the toilet and wash the dishes at the same time? That's a tiny house, man. Here's number 2. Black political power requires large black populations by percentage. Blacks remaining in California cannot expect to realistically compete for political and economic power within a state where they make up less than 6% of the population, and that percentage is declining fast. Political power requires that the numbers favor blacks, and those numbers do not in California, but the numbers are more advantageous throughout the South. Here's how the black population numbers pan out in the South, by the way. Alabama, 26.64%. Arkansas, 15%. Delaware, 22%. Florida, 16%. Georgia, 31%. Kentucky, 8%. Louisiana, 32%. Maryland, 29%. Mississippi, 37%. North Carolina, 21%. Oklahoma, 7%. South Carolina, 26%. Tennessee, 16%, Texas, 12%, Virginia, 19%, West Virginia, 3%, District of Columbia, 46%. Not yet a state, though. And did you know 55% of black Americans reside in the states in the South? More than half of black people reside in the states in the South. Here's my take, because we got to speed this thing along. We agree again, once again. But will we be willing and successful at it to convince a new wave of African Americans to get more involved in the political process? That's going to be my purpose tonight, my controlling purpose tonight. Let's not forget that this is the same generation that has been pushing back against traditional archetypes of African Americans that they saw didn't work for generations. Marriage, church, college. Millennials and Generation Z ain't trying to hear it. And I believe that it'll be really, really difficult to not only convince them to become fully immersed in politics as we move further and further into the 21st century, but to also run as a political candidate. I'll wait. Y'all convince me of that? I'll consider it. Until that happens, I don't know. I have conversations with these young people all the time. They ain't trying to hear it. And here's Mr. Ray Alexander's number one. The South is rated the best region to live in the United States. But that's for everybody. I don't know if it's for black people. I don't know, Ray. U.S. News & World Report recently released its annual list of the 50 best places to live in America, comprising the metro areas with the perfect combination of affordability, a good job market, and quality of life. While every geographic region of the U.S. was represented on the list, it's the South that seemed to have come out on top for the third year in a row. The U.S. Census Bureau definition of the South includes 16 states and Washington, D.C. The region had 20 cities in the top 50, more than any other, including the city that ranked the highest marks, Austin, Texas. And he also linked a couple articles here, the 20 best places to live in the South, the region that's still the best place to live in America, and another one that says, sell those overpriced California houses and purchase homes in the South debt-free, what Andy was just talking about. My take on that, self-explanatory. I mean, look, I understand. It's nice down there, I'm sure, you know? But if Cali doesn't change, in the words of the late, great Michael Jackson, we probably need to make that change. You like that, huh? Come on now. Come on, you got to give me props on that. Come on now. When we come forward, we will talk to King Joseph. I know he going to come up in here with some bombs, man. And we will also read some of the YouTube comments. And as I mentioned earlier in the hour, there's an entire discussion going on Black Twitter. It's been going on for a while, to be honest with you. But I'm really starting to delve into the deep dives that are happening on Black Twitter about this discussion about the great black migration. And I ain't gonna lie, I would say more nays than yays on this entire concept. You would think that a lot of people would be like, yeah, Atlanta, let's go. You want what, Texas? Yeah, man, Houston be pop. I'm telling you right now, from my viewpoint, from my standpoint, the consensus seems to be, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't moving to no South. I'll show you the other side on the other side. 1-800-920-1580. Right now, news and traffic. This is the Danny Morrison Show. KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Don't you move.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The White House is not responding to allegations that members of President Biden's family received payments indirectly from a Chinese company. Speaking to reporters, Press Secretary African-American Karine Jean-Pierre said House Republicans have been lying for years on this issue. Black Mayor of New Orleans, Louisiana, LaToya Cantrell, is making her first public comments since the governor's office said the recall petition against her failed. Cantrell said the recall attempt was meant to discredit her as mayor. She added it feels like a weight has been lifted and she'll continue to do the best job she can for everyone in New Orleans. Actress Sheryl Lee Ralph is fangirling over Beyonce. The Long Island native told a New York radio station she met Beyonce at the post-Oscars Vanity Fair party in Hollywood. She said Beyonce has a glow